let's talk about the safety methods you need to use when cooking with your cast iron pans. Hi, I'm Cecily on Point. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to be safe when cooking with your cast iron pans. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and come back frequently. So let's get into what we need to do. So my first important tip is that when you put your cast iron on the stove, you want to be sure that you don't have the handle facing you. You don't want it to face you so that there are no accidental spills. Always be sure that the handles are facing away from you, closest to the wall or something other than you. Next, you want to be sure that you have a sleeve. These sleeves will fit on any of your cast iron pans. It's one size fits all, and it will let you pick up the pan off of the stove or work with it on the stove and not burn your hand. So it's important to make sure you get a silicone or fabric sleeve. Next, you also always want to have pot holders, not just the sleeve, but you need pot holders for the handling of the pan. It gets very, very hot. Cast iron pans are very heavy, as you know. No matter what size they are extremely heavy. Even when they're empty, it's challenging to work with just one hand. You're going to need to use both of your hands. So once you fill this with oil or food, it's really going to weigh down even more, especially those that have covers. And when you have to move your cast iron pan, you want to be sure that you've got a wood cutting board or wood piece right next to the burner or next to the stove so that you can move it safely there. With both hands and your pot holder, you want to lift it up carefully and move it right onto the wood piece. This way you can carefully handle it from there. And finally, it's really important to know that cast iron pans are great conductors of heat. So it takes them quite a while to cool down. This is why you want to warm it up before you start cooking with it, and you need to cool it down completely before you clean it. So even though it may not look hot, you want to have the fire turned off, let it cool down, and then lightly run your hand across it to make sure that it feels cool enough for you to handle to then completely clean. Make sure it's cool before you try to clean it. So follow these few safety tips and you will enjoy safely cooking with your cast iron. And just to recap what those tips are, you first want to be sure that you have the handle of the cast iron facing away from you when it's on the stove. You next want to be sure that you have a handle sleeve so that when you need to move the cast iron around while cooking, it is covered and safe. Next, you want to be sure that you have two pot holders, one for each hand, so that when you've got to move the actual pan or pot, both hands are covered. Next, you want to be sure that you've got a cutting board, a wood cutting board, next to the stove so that when you're finished, you can move it off with your two pot holders onto that wood cutting surface. And finally, you want to be sure that it is completely cool before cleaning it. And as a bonus, always clean after you've cooked with it. So I hope these tips help. Enjoy cooking with your cast iron. It is a great, great vessel. You will find nothing better or nicer than them. And make sure that you come back and see me again soon for some more tips. All right, take care. Bye.